Hello, it's Feather. I am so sorry I forgot to post a video yesterday, so I'm here on a Sunday instead of a Saturday. But in my defense, yesterday was a little busy. I gave my students a writing assignment, and let me just show you. So that's what I did yesterday, and today I'm actually making a unit test, but I decided to put that on pause so that I could talk to you today about the book Courtship tag. And I decided to do this because Olive and Rose already did it, so I figured why not join the party. So let's get started. Phase 1, Initial Attraction. What book did you buy because of the cover? Definitely this copy of Emma. Rose, Olive, and I did Emma for one of our book club reads a couple months ago, so I was already going to buy this book, but this cover in particular, I saw it and I knew I needed to have it. Is it not just the most gorgeous cover you have ever seen? Phase 2, a book you bought because of the summary. And that for me is People of the Book by Geraldine Brooks. This is actually based on a true story. It's about an Australian rare book expert, and she is studying a rare Jewish volume that has actually been preserved through time. It was actually preserved by a Muslim man who risked his life to preserve this book away from the Nazis. So I thought that was an incredibly intriguing read, and I actually haven't read this one yet, but I am excited to, and it's been on my bookshelf for a while, and I don't know why I haven't picked it up because that is definitely a book that is right up my alley. Phase 3, Sweet Talk, a book with good writing. That for me is The Book Thief by Marcus Zusak. When I first picked this up, I could not put it down. I actually read this back in high school, and I gave a copy of it to Olive because I wanted everyone I know to read this book. I was so intrigued. The narrator is death, and if that doesn't captivate you from the beginning, I don't know what will. And if you haven't read this, I would highly recommend it. I gave it a 5 out of 5, and it's one of my favorite books of all time. Phase 4, First Date. What is a first book in a series that made you want to read the rest of the series? For me, that would be The Hunger Games by Suzanne Collins. I read this book and immediately wanted to read the entire rest of the series, and I actually had to wait for Mockingjay to come out because it wasn't out back when I first read this. Olive and I tutored an ESL class in our first year of university, and we did a novel study on this book, and then the plan was that we were going to go watch the movie in theaters with all our students, but it ended up that our students went without us, and we ended up watching it by ourselves. So that's my little story behind The Hunger Games. Phase 5, Late Night Phone Calls. What is a book that has kept you up all night? I don't think, apart from when I was really little, I don't think there's ever been a time when I have stayed up all night reading a book because I value sleep, and I mean, no matter how good a book is, I gotta get my sleep. Phase 6, Always on My Mind. What is a book that you cannot stop thinking about? For me, that is Me Before You by Jojo Moyes. I actually did a review on this one, and I kind of talked a little bit about why it is always on my mind. It is a highly controversial book, and the themes and the morality and everything that goes on in this book is something that I still think about to this day, and I still don't really have my opinion fully formed, but it is something that I do think about a lot, and it's something that I think is important for our current society. Number 7, Getting Physical. What is a book that you love what is a book you love a book which you love the way it feels? That is a very awkwardly worded sentence, but so be it. For me, that would be Bride of New France by Suzanne Desrochers. This book, you can't feel it through the camera, but it feels quilted, and also it has a really gorgeous cover. So if you ever see this in the bookstore, just pick it up and pet it and see what I mean. Phase 8, Meeting the Parents. What is a book that you would recommend to family and friends? That's a good question, except that I don't think there's one singular book that I would recommend to everyone. I don't think there's one book in particular that would just please everyone. I actually just don't think that's possible. Phase 9, Thinking About the Future. What is a book or series that you plan to reread several times in the future? And for me, that would be my favorite book of all time, which is Le Petit Prince by Antoine de Saint-Exupéry. This is my favorite book of all times, as I just said. I read this all the time. I've actually memorized it in French, and I did an oral book report on this for my French final exam in university, so I basically just sat down and spoke about this book to my French prof, and I could have gone on for hours, but he stopped me and was like, that was great, you get an A, you can go now. So yes. Also, the movie just came out for this, like last year or the year before, and it was so cute. I liked it. You should go watch it and read this in the original French if you can. Phase 10, share the love. Who do you want to tag? Everybody can feel the love. Anyway, so that is my book Courtship tag. Hope you enjoyed, and I will try my best to remember to post next Saturday my wrap up for the month. Until then, stay tuned for Rose's video tomorrow as she does her wrap up. Have a great day, everyone!